Hello, welcome. This is Mnat, and I'm really super excited today. Why? Because it's Valentine's Day. Wow, how cool that is! And I'm going to show you how to create this beautiful, nice heart, the one that you're actually looking at on your screen right now. And at the end of this tutorial, you'll be able to achieve the same result, and probably would choose maybe to send it to your sweetheart, or somebody you really love and think about on such a day. Anyway, let's get straight into the code, and I'll be giving you step by step on how to create this sweet, nice, beautiful looking heart. And I'm using Sublime as my text editor, but whichever text editor you're using, you'll be able to achieve the same result, and don't worry about anything. And actually this heart shouldn't actually scare you, because there's no magic in creating it. There's nothing really extraordinary with it, but just simply CSS playing around with objects, and maybe to give you a roadmap of what we will be doing. Here we are having two circles, one right here and another here, and the bottom here it's just a triangle. So if you know how to create these shapes, then it's just going to be a walkover for you. You're not going to find a problem with this. And even if you don't know, still you're going to learn today, because I'm going to show you how to. So let's go straight into our code. I'm going to begin by creating a basic HTML structure, something I'm pretty sure you already know how to do. So I will not explain anything about this until we get into styling and creating the heart. That's when I will explain. So let's get into the code. Oh, sorry about that. Probably that is Valentine, I know. Anyway, we have to proceed with this, and give it a title of CSS Heart. So there we are. This is our basic HTML structure, and I'm choosing to save it at the desktop. That's where I choose to save it. And I have another file there, but I will give this the same CSS Heart. Give it heart2.html, but I have one heart anyway. So we're having this basic HTML file, and we are going to begin developing our heart. So the technique here is, first of all, between our body tags, we're going to create a div. We're actually going to be playing around with divs, and the first div is actually a container, what you would call a container or a wrapper. And this container, I'm going to give it a class, and a class is going to be heart, because this is actually what's going to hold all the other shapes inside. So inside this container, the div with the class heart, we're going to create this is actually where we're going to create the other three shapes, the two circles and the triangle. So the first div is going to have an ID of call it circle left, and call it circle left, and circle left, and the other is going to have a div, and it's going to have an ID of circle right. So there we are. And finally, the last shape that we will be having is the triangle. So we'll create another div and give it an ID of triangle. Yeah, I'm really specific here, so you can understand what's creating this heart, the shapes. We're having the two circles, the triangle, and that's all. So we save this, but we don't even need to save this, because we know that this will actually produce nothing in our browser. So we can go ahead and go ahead straight into styling this, because there is nothing really happening at the browser right now. you won't be able to see anything, so I won't take you there. So go ahead and create our style. So I'm creating my styling. We are going to create this styling right between the head tags on the same file, but even if you choose to create a different file for the CSS, it still works the same. So you can create a different file for the CSS, come link it here, you get the same results. But for today we're going to create it right here. So we're going to write our style just between these tags, between the head tags. So there we are with our style tags, and we are ready to begin styling. So first we begin with styling the container, the parent container, with a class height. So we call it, you already know how to call out the class. We begin with a dot and call its name, so it's height, and we begin styling. So there we are. Now this, we would need to specify the width for this, and we're going to give it a width of 270 pixels. Oh, this is serious. Okay, now there we are. So we're having the width of 270 pixels, and the height, we'll leave that to that. So we'll not specify the height. We'll give the margin, because this is important. So the margin top will be 10%, and the left and right will make it go automatic, so it can adjust itself automatically. Center itself just at the center of the screen, and there we are. So the other last property for the height class is the positioning. This is really important because it's going to, we'll need to position the shapes inside the divs, and would need to give the position, the property position, a value of relative. This is because we will need to position the elements right inside this container, and it's important to give it a position value. Otherwise it will be kind of difficult for us to position the element. So we go ahead and give it the position relative, and there we are. So even at this stage you won't be able to see anything at the browser, so I won't take you there for now. We will go ahead and create our first circle, the circle left. So we go ahead and call, this is actually not a class, so it's an ID, so we give a hash and then circle left, and we style this. So we're going to give this a width, rather the width of 100 pixels, so we can give it a 200 pixels, and the height as well 200 pixels, so that we can achieve the square. And it's from this square that we actually create the circle. Now maybe to show you how the square turns into the circle, I'm going to first show you the square by giving it a color. So I'll give it a background color, and this is going to be a red color. So I think this can give us a red color, that CC1143 should be red. So I'm going to save this. I will take it to the browser and show you what's actually happening right there, so you'll be able to see it for yourself. So here we are having now the square, this little square box at the center of our screen, and this is the first one. So this is actually how we turn it into a circle. We turn it into a circle by giving it what we call the border radius, border radius, and we specify this and give it a value of 50%, and this should actually give us a complete circle. So when we refresh this browser, we'll be able to achieve the circle. So, and the idea here is that we are going to create the other circle, and finally we will be able to put them on the same line, and then put them just next to other, but a little inside each other, because you want to achieve that. You remember maybe when you were learning your mathematics, learning about sets, you used to draw those two circles, then you put intersection, then what you know those things. But don't worry, this is not mathematics. So we'll go ahead straight and create the other second circle and see how it works. So to do this really quick, I'm going to just copy this because it's going to have the same values. So we copy this, paste it right there, change this to right, right, and then width the same, height rather, background, border, whatever will be the same. So when we save this, you're going to notice that we will have created another circle, but then this circle is at the bottom, but we don't want it to be at the bottom. We want it to be just next to each other, and even furthermore we'll shift them next to each other. So this is how we will achieve that. But first of all, go and give this the property position, and give them a value of absolute. Reason being absolute because we need to move them, but in relation to the parent div height. So because parent div height has already got the positioning of relative, so this will actually move in relation to the parent. They won't be in relation to the entire screen. So there we are, and so do we give this as well a position of absolute, and there we are. So when we save this, go to our browser, when we reload, you're actually going to get surprised that you'll be looking at just one circle, but they're actually two circles, only that they're having the same properties, same colors, same height, width, and of course same radius now. So you'll just be seeing one, but they're actually two, but just in one place. So the other thing we would want to do now is to separate them. Move the left circle far left and the right circle far right. So we do this by simply going and specifying this is the circle left, so we specify the left property and give it a value of negative 10%, because we want it to move 10% in relation to where it is. So we give this as well the right property and give it as well negative 10%. 10% is good. So we'll go ahead and check out in our browser, refresh, be able to achieve that, the intersection sets you used to learn. So we are done with this because we actually wanted to achieve this, that kind of the bird wing, kind of the wings of the bird. Yeah. So we'll be able, after getting this, so the only other shape that we are left with is a triangle, which we shall actually position right here, and we'll be able to have our fully functioning pumping heart. Yeah, I'm sure it will be pumping at the end of this. So we'll go ahead and call the triangle and style it as well. So we call the triangle. Now the triangle has got a unique property called content, and to surprise you, this content is going to have nothing. So reason being that it's from this content, which is almost not there, that we are going to build our triangle from. We build this using the border. So we go ahead and call the border. This is rather the border shorthand property. So we call border and we give it a border style of solid. Give it the border. We give it the border width of about 135. Will that work? We will be able to change that anyway. So we can give it 135 pixels for now, and then yeah, that can as well work. Now and then give it a color as well. So we can give it a color. For now, I'm going to give it a black color because I want to show you how the triangle comes out of this. So for now, I will give it a black color, but then that black color is not what we will have, because I don't think if anyone has got a black heart. So black is not good for the heart. That's what I think. So when we reload this browser, you'll be able to see that we're having now this black box, but it's just behind this, and it's from this black box that we're going to create a triangle. And this box is actually not created. This box is actually different from the former ones that we created first to achieve these two circles, because if you remember, we used the width and the height to specify the width and the height, which were 200 and 200 height, 200 width. But for this, actually, we didn't specify the width, only that we specify the border width. So whatever you're seeing here is actually the border width. So we'll go ahead and create the triangle from this black box. Now this is how the triangle comes out. we are going to specify the color of one side of this border. So we're going to choose the border top, and we're going to specify the color for that border top, and let's give it the red color for our heart, and which is C1143, and there we are. So I'm going to show you what's actually happening in our browser, so that you get the clear picture of how the triangle is formed. So when we reload this, you realize that there's now this triangle. Actually, it's coming right from the center, only that this is now covering. So for you to be able to see that, I'm going to shift that a little down by specifying the position, giving it absolute, and the top I'm going to shift it 168, 160. Let me try 160 pixels and see where it takes us. So there we are. When we reload this, you'll be able to see that now that actually the triangle has come out from this black box. We're going to move this so that it can position itself right where we want it, because it's a little not at the proper position. And we do this by those are a few pixels, and we can go ahead and reduce them, so we can a little, maybe to do this the easy way, because we're not going to guess and guess. So what we're going to do, we're going to inspect this. If you're using Chrome, Google Chrome, Chromium, or even Firefox, you see how this element, so you can inspect the element. We're going to check this top property here. The value is 160, but it's not what we want. So we are going to reduce this value, or rather increase it, and until we shift it, we shift that triangle. Maybe you might have not even believed it's a triangle, so I'm going to shift it further away from the circle, so you can really see that it's a triangle. So I'm going to give it, so you can see there it's a triangle right there, but then we need it to come just inside this. So we're going to move it a little, and 168 is the perfect result. So we'll change the 160 to 168. So we just add 8 pixels to this, and we'll be able to get what we really wanted. So there we are. And in case this was to go a little further, more at the right or the left, this would probably be because you made the border width of the parent of the box, of the black box, to be matched. So you can see this. I was only like that. I made it. I kind of got the very right width. So in other words, if you get something like this, or even further smaller like this, all you have to do is just shift this until you get the right one that will fit in your heart. So there we are. And when we reload this, we're actually having our result right there. So we're almost having our heart complete. All is left is to deal with the black, what I would call the leftovers, the residue for the square, the black square that helped us to create the triangle. So this is how we deal with that. So first of all, we need to get, we don't need this just at the bottom. So what we do with that is we remove it completely. This is how we do that. So we'll come right here, and we call out our property called border bottom width. So we specify that and say we don't want it anymore, so we give it a 0 value. So if we go back to our browser, we reload that, you're going to notice that is just going to disappear with. So we make it disappear because we don't need it. We already used our border top to achieve the triangle, so the border bottom has no use for us for now. So we remove it, because if we choose to leave it, it will occupy other space and it won't look good. So we get rid of it and remain with the top width only, top border width, border top width rather. So we are now left with just the this right black kind of a half triangle. Is this a half? Anyway, so we are only left with this and this. So this is how we deal with that, because we don't say that we'll do with a border left width and a border right width. Otherwise, if we did that, then the entire triangle will disappear. So all we're going to do is just make the background color for our initial black box to be transparent. So when we make it transparent, yet we've specified the border top color to be the color of our heart, which is red. So we'll have the complete heart and this one just disappearing. So we go ahead and go into our code, change this value here for the triangle, for the border color of the triangle, we change it to be transparent. So there we are. When we save this, go to our browser, reload it, we will be having our fully functioning, sweet, nice looking, beautiful heart. So that's all we actually aimed at getting, and depending on your preferences, you might choose to make it a little bit bigger, smaller, or a different color. Might have to choose to have it maybe a black color. I don't know if you prefer maybe having black hearts. I don't know if there's a black heart for anyone. So you can go ahead and play around with the colors and the width and the height for you to achieve anything you want. But in other words, that's all you need to create a beautiful, nice heart. And you can go ahead actually and send this to your sweetheart. Yeah. Anyway, I even smell love in the air right now. And that's all for today. See you next time, and happy Valentine's Day.